What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So a couple more accolades for Juju Watkins, a couple of our fellow teammates when it comes to those off-season awards. So when it came to Juju Watkins, yes, she was named an AP and the U.S. Basketball Writers Association First Team All-American. She's also named the Sporting News Player of the Year, and she's recently doing a collaboration with Gatorade right before the tournament starts. So congrats to her. And then also Kiki Iriafen was named to the third team of the AP poll and the U.S. Basketball Writers of Association too. So congrats to those ladies. Obviously, the two better players on the team, and it's kind of surprised Kiki wasn't up there in the second team at least, because she's been putting up some monster numbers as of late. But one person did do a thing about like certain certain teams where they're positioned in a tournament when it comes to the women's side, and then where they have to like travel basically to the Final Four or Elite Eight or whatever it is. And most of the teams that have played and have to travel the most have actually ended up pretty far. I think most recently, like 2019 Oregon, they lost in a semifinal, but most of these teams ended up traveling like over 2,300 miles in just over the past couple of weeks for the tournament during that time. Even 2015, that Maryland team lost in the semifinal. 2008 Stanford lost in the title game, and Rutgers lost in that semifinal. So, I mean, you can get far, but what if these teams did not have to travel as much as those other teams that end up winning are going a little bit farther in the tournament? Then who knows? A lot of these teams could end up being champions too. So I know USC is in that Spokane area when they end up playing after their couple of home games in the first round. I know UCLA is there too. So either way, they're going to end up meeting in the Final Four. Everything goes correctly, and they're going to be pretty beat up and tired by the time they get to Tampa. But hopefully USC ends up coming out on top in that matchup. And then Jazzy Davison, their five-star freshman that's going to be coming in next season, was apparently named the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Oregon, so congrats to her. And I forgot to mention that all 32 NFL teams were represented at USC's Pro Day last week, so that was pretty cool. Everybody got to see those guys, and hopefully they're going to be making a bunch of rosters out there. They most likely won't get drafted, but undrafted signings would be pretty cool for all those USC guys. And then an ex-USC basketball player, Nikola Vucevic of the Chicago Bulls right now, apparently he's already made quite a bit of double-doubles on their leaderboard. He's already third place right now, just past Horace Grant the other day, and a couple behind Scottie Pippen. So he's only been there, like a handful of years? I don't think he's really been that long with Chicago. Maybe less than 5 years, and he's already that high on their doubles-doubles list. So I was kind of surprised that even Jordan wasn't up there, but I guess he was more of the scoring threat. But congrats to the ex-USC guy. And a couple of accolades for the USC men's basketball side. Desmond Claude was an All-Big Ten honorable mention. Rayshawn Agee reached 1,000 career points, and Wesley Yates III was the top scoring freshman in Big Ten play with around 17 points per game, which is great. He's considered like one of the best pro prospects on the team as of right now. He's only like a redshirt freshman, the transfer that came in over this last summer, but I hope he does end up staying at least one more year and helping out this team, because he's very talented and he played well down the stretch, as a lot of those accolades had said, but that might end up boosting him to get drafted in the second round, and kind of just feels he just wants to leave USC right away and go get that NBA contract. I hope he doesn't. Hopefully they give him a little bit more money to stick around at least one more season, so he could be a little bit of a higher draft pick too, but all we can do is hope right now. And then, yeah, a quick reminder about a USC women's basketball game this Saturday. It's going to be on ABC. It says 12 p.m., so hopefully that is West Coast time, so I would definitely be looking forward to seeing that this Saturday. And then there was a four-star running back in Favor Aki. He recently released a top three, which included USC, Miami, and Ohio State, but I was kind of surprised because I haven't really heard his name pop up in recruiting cycle as of right now, and it looks like he's going to be a running back for two of those schools, but for USC, they want him as a linebacker, and he still left them in his top three, so maybe he's still mulling the idea over of playing on the defensive side. You never know, but USC made the top three, so it's a little bit intriguing to him. A little bit more recruiting updates on the football side. They do have a top 100 defensive back, Jontavius Wyman. Apparently, a couple of schools, especially USC, are concentrating their efforts on him, even though he is committed to Georgia right now, but they're all looking to sign him. I believe Favor, that running back, did set up a June 6th to the 8th visit, and I believe, too, I did see that somebody put a prediction for him to already go to Ohio State, so they're kind of battling uphill as of right now, but hopefully they have a chance. And even that 4-star local running back, I believe from Oaks Christian, Deshaun Rideau, did take a picture recently with Reggie Bush, which is pretty awesome. And he's already predicted to go to USC, so hopefully that sweetened the deal. And then there was one of the top 2026 wide receivers, James Scott. He was one of the top performers in the week 1 in the overtime 7-on-7 tournament, and USC and TCU were some of the main people trying to make strong runs at him, so hopefully USC has a chance. There's a 4-star linebacker out of the state of Texas, and Taven Epps. Looks like USC is in the running there. Also a 4-star cornerback in Jaden Terry. USC is involved in that situation, I believe. And then House of Victory ended up signing a couple people. The quarterback Jaden Mayava is returning, so I guess it looks like he's going to be sticking around at least one more season. They signed their new kicker in Caden Chittenton, their new tight end Anila Tupo'u, and they also signed a women's golf player in Bailey Shoemaker, so congrats to all those athletes. And all the women's beach volleyball side, they did defeat the number 16 team Grand Canyon 3-2, defeated Oregon 5-0, defeated the number 5 Stanford team 3-2, defeated Florida Gulf Coast 3-2, defeated the number 15 team in Stetson 4-1, defeated number 13 team Florida Atlantic 4-1, defeated number 20 Georgia State team 5-0, and it looks like EA Sports is planning to increase the players' NIL payment from $600 to what it was this last game to $1,500 if they end up deciding to lock in their deals with the video game and end up having their likeness and all that stuff in there. So at least they bumped it up quite a bit instead of just offering a low ball number, again, under $1,000. So they did make quite a bit of money off that game last year. So hopefully it's as good as advertised once again. And the baseball team did have a couple victories. They defeated Michigan on the road 7-4 and then beat that same Michigan team again 4-3. They also beat Arizona State on the road 6-3. And then Yu Darvish's son Shohei was recently pictured in the Cardinal and gold, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So if you have one of the great ex-pitchers in MLB and his son is looking to get recruited by your school, then hopefully he ends up signing with USC in the near future. Then on the track and field, there were a lot of like first team and second team, a lot more first team players on there. So you see that big time list. So congrats to all those athletes. And then the Jazz DeFrand was named the Big Ten Women's Indoor Track Athlete of the Year. So congrats to her. And then the rankings came out for the men and women's side. The men finished number 1, obviously, after winning the championship, and the women finished number 3. So congrats to all those athletes. And then Kayla Colbert, who's a forward/defender for the women's soccer team, signed with the Utah Royals. So congrats. And then the men's volleyball team had a victory against one of the top teams at BYU 3-2. And then they ended up beating them again 3-0. Then they beat a number 19 Penn State team 3-0. Then they defeated number 12 Ball State team 3-0. They defeated Hawaii 3-1. And then Jasmine Koo was named the champion at the Meadow Club Invitational, which is pretty cool for her. So congrats. And I believe now she is back to the number 1 spot with her 4th win as one of the best college players. So yes, congrats to her. And then on the women's golf side of House of Victory, they also signed Catherine Park. And on the tennis side for the women's, they defeated Oregon 4-0. The women's lacrosse team beat St. Joseph 18-5. The women's, I believe that's water polo, defeated the number 12 Princeton team 15-9, and they also defeated the number 8 Harvard team 17-10. So yeah, a lot of great updates here from a lot of the other sports that USC has, and they're winning. So I'm pretty sure I'm missing a bunch of like lacrosse and other stuff. So hopefully I'll have all that updated as well in the next video. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.